All right, we're back with Leo Cook. We're going to dive into his time at the Bluebird. So you spent 10 years there. Give us the years here. Kind of keep us going on this timeline.
Oh, Lord. It's probably the early 2000s.
Okay, yeah. Going into the 2010 teens.
The Bird was a real happening place. Coop really does a good job of booking all kinds of people, you know. Things come in waves. At one point, there was a lot of hip-hop shows, so we would get Bone Thugs would come in there. We had every living member of Wu-Tang had played in there.
Amazing. I've seen Yin Yang and Ja Rule there, and both were incredible.
Yeah, we had one of the guys from the Beastie Boys DJ'd one night. He was pushing one of his energy drink things.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah.
We had Bright Eyes. We had Ween came in.
Okay.
Hank the Third came in one night. Now, I had met Hank the Third about a year before in Indianapolis, and we had a long conversation. And I said, "Hey, Hank, you know, if you play the Bluebird or you play Bloomington, can I sit in with you? I play the washboard, electric washboard. It's a novelty thing." And he goes, "Yeah, you can play with me, of course." So he's coming there that night, and nobody believes me that Hank and I are friends. Because we had a great I knew that he would remember me because we had a great conversation about old school country and how Johnny and releasing some of the best records of his career. He's not getting any radio play. George Jones is doing all this great material. Nobody's, it's just not, nobody cares about these older country artists anymore. And he just thinks it's terrible. And I think it's terrible. And so the sound man is there and he doesn't believe that I'm going to play. Coob's there. He doesn't believe I'm going to play. And I'm like, so I'm waiting there after sound check. I'm there for about an hour and a half. And I walk up and I said, "Hey, Hank, pardon me. I met you about a year ago. I'm the washboard guy." He goes, "I remember you." And I said, can I sit in on a song? He goes, "Of course, the Southbound Old 97. I said, "Okay." So I'm waiting in the crowd. HBO's there. I didn't know HBO was there going to be filming that night. And all of a sudden, "Hey, where's the washboard guy?" And I'm holding the washboard up over my head. The place is sold out. I'm like, and I go on stage, and everyone is just, they're just beaming at me. They can't believe
they're like,
that.
"You gotta be
I
shitting
hornswoggled my way on stage with my washboard to play with Hank the Third. And so he starts a song, and I came in a half a beat early, and he just turned to me, and I was like, he gave me the look that if I came in half a beat earlier again, this boot was going up my can and I was going off the stage and there was no getting around it. So I did the thing and I left to thunderous applause. It was
hell yeah,
one of the greatest moments of my life because it's that full circle of doing the tribute show for the people with disabilities for his grandfather.
Gets you the job.
And then helps me play with Hank the Third on stage. And there was a recording that night, which I gave to Big John, who gave it to Hank the Third, who gave it to Kid Rock.
Wow.
So Kid Rock listened to my music while he was fooling around with Pamela Anderson. Slam dunk, boom, boom,
There's
boom.
your 6 degrees of separation.
Amazing how
Pam
much
Anderson.
that one thing changed my life.
Yeah.
Got me back into show business, got me a job, and I helped, I continue to help people with disabilities, just tremendous help for me.
I love that too. You have almost like a movie script where you have the coming in a half beat early. You have the oh no, I'm screwing it all up. And then it's you get the redemption, you get the comeback.
Oh, it was I was so happy I was sick to my stomach. Because you're just the tension, you're like, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that happened. And nobody believed me. But guess what? Well, because
no, until it happened.
No. I'm like, why would I make that up?
So yeah, you probably had a little bit
So
more,
what happened was there was a show in Indy, and it was it Royal Crescent Mob and Reverend Horton Heat and Hank the Third. I only went up there to say Hank Third, and we were bowling beforehand with my friends, and so Leo, you're going to meet Hank the Third tonight? I said, boys, girls, I'm meeting Hank the Third. Well, how are you going to do that? I said, I have no idea.
You're going to figure it out.
I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
So after Hank plays, I'm wandering through Broad Ripple, and I'm like, that bar is not for me. That bar is for me. And there's a place called Average Joe's. I said, well, I'm an average Joe. Not really. So I plunk myself down there, and there's this bartender, and he's got all these secretary types, and he's watching the Austin Powers, and he's explaining all the jokes to these women. And at one point, he explains a joke, and he's wrong about the reference, and I'm sitting there, and I'm embarrassed for the guy. I'm like, really, dude? And I'm about to get up and leave, And Hank comes in and sits right next to me at this bar. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I leave him alone. I leave him alone because you just got out of rehab. I'm not saying squat. And I waited till his girl, who's like wearing the 1950s rockabilly, wearing the cutie pie dress and stuff. Are you allowed to say cutie pie anymore in this day and age? Anyway, so she's got the rockabilly. She looks like $1,000,000. She gets up to go to the bathroom, and that's when I swing my chair around and go, brother, I've been waiting to talk to you all night.
That's a bold move to come in with.
I just saw your show, and he wanted me to talk about what the show. And I remember this Buddy Rich. There's a very famous Buddy Rich thing where he's on a tape, he's being recorded, where he talks about how bad the kids played that night. This clam, and here's a clam, and a clam here. Clam is a mistake that a musician makes, and that's what they say. Hey, you effing clam.
So was he asking you what you thought?
He was asking me what I thought about the band that night, and I said, well, the drummer had a couple of clams, and there was a clam coming from the violin. And I just wanted to say the word clam, because it's one of those inside-y show business music things.
Show him that you know what you're talking about.
And so he was not happy with the band's performance on that. And I thought they were fine. They just could have been, new band. You're working out the kinks. Yeah, just a little bit tighter and all this stuff. And he goes, hey, buddy, you're pretty good at, you're a musician. I said, well, I do play a pretty mean washboard. And he thought that was the funniest thing in the world. And that's why that whole thing said, hey, can I play with you the next time he came to Bloomington? So